Welcome back to another beautiful and just wonderful, gorgeous edition of Veggie Mike Ellis on Instagram, Veggie Mike Ellis on the YouTubes, and I want to talk to you today about why, a little sensitive subject, why I'm ashamed of myself. I'm vegan and I'm truly ashamed of myself, and I want to talk to you about why that is and why most vegans, I can speak for most vegans when I say that we are all ashamed of ourselves. And this is why, because for most of my life, I thought of myself as an animal lover. Not that you have to be an animal lover to be vegan, you just have to respect justice for animals, but I thought of myself as an animal lover. Many people do. And to be an animal lover and use an animal as a resource is a big contradiction. Of course, our society is a big contradiction, right? We treat animals as though they have moral value. That's why we have animal welfare laws, right? For companion animals, for example. Why firefighters go back into a building to save pets and they don't save, say, houseplants, for example. Because we do feel as though animals have moral value. And yet, at the same time, everywhere you look, there's commercials, and everywhere you look, there's use of animals everywhere. We use animals in everything. We wear them on our backs. We eat them. We enjoy the way their flesh tastes and the way their secretions taste. And that's the only reason we eat them. We don't actually need to eat them at all. Every science-based organization on the planet maintains we don't need to eat them, but we do. We do it turns out, for palate pleasure alone. That's why we eat them. And so I thought of myself as an animal lover, and I did this. I used animals as a resource. I treated them like a thing, like a cell phone or a car. And it's inconsistent for them to have moral value and also be a resource. You can either be a resource or you have moral value, but it's not both. It's one or the other, okay? So it's inconsistent. So I'm ashamed of myself because it took me 4 decades of my life to finally come around and admit to myself what I've been doing is wrong. It's hard to admit you're wrong, right? It's hard to admit that you've been lied to your whole life. You've been duped. It's hard to admit that you've been doing the wrong thing. It's hard. And that your family's been doing the wrong thing. And everybody around you in the society's been wrong this whole time. And you've been lied to. That's the thing. And you are. You're being lied to big time. The egg industry, the meat industry, they're rigging studies and everything, just like the tobacco industry did in the 60s. They're rigging studies and everything. It's not a conspiracy, or I'm not making this stuff up. That's what they're doing. You know, it's been done before, and it's being done now. They're lying to you. So we have been lied to, and it just comes down to this. Since every science-based organization on the planet maintains the same thing, that we don't need to eat them for food, for nutritional reasons, it's time to face our demons. I was wrong. I'm ashamed of myself for what I did. I used them as resources. I had, paid people to slice the throats of babies. That's what I did. They're babies. And their flesh is tender when they're young, so we eat them as babies, because if we wait for them to grow up, their flesh isn't tender anymore. I mean, it's disturbing, but that's what goes on. The egg industry just grinds up billions of baby chicks every year because they're male. The dairy industry just takes babies away from their mothers within a few days, and then so we can take their milk and impregnates them over and over and over again, so their body gives out, and then they go to the slaughterhouse also. So they're all the meat industry. Dairy is the meat industry. Egg is the meat industry. They're all the meat industry. And I was a part of it, and I paid people to do this for me. And I caused world hunger and horrific climate devastation. This is all real. I mean, this isn't some conspiracy theory by vegans. I mean, this is reality, that animal agriculture is a leading cause of rainforest depletion, and the leading cause of species extinction, and a whole bunch of our other climatic catastrophes. And it's really the only thing we can do to fix the mess we're in without passing a bunch of legislation and things that are practically impossible to do, like move governments to do all these things that they're probably never going to do with all these special interests. But we can go vegan. We can go vegan. It's a simple choice. And we're very privileged. We can just grab something else on the shelf and buy something else. There's all these products now, so there's no excuse anymore. You just buy something else. It's not like a big deal or anything. It's not hard. It's only hard when we make it about ourselves. I made it about myself. It's so hard. Yeah, it's not hard. Not when you actually recognize that animals have moral value. I recognized finally, I came around and I woke up when I found out that they grind up the babies alive, the baby chicks, the male chicks in the egg industry by the billions every year. And I found that out. That was it. That was the last straw for me. I was like, I'm vegan. I'm done. I'm done. Enough is enough. I don't know what it'll be for you. Maybe, hopefully it'll be this video or whatever else. It's not about me and converting you personally. It's just about waking up. And it's an awakening. Veganism is an awakening. That's why I made a video about these former vegans. There's no former vegans. They don't exist. If you're a former vegan, you were never vegan, because it's an awakening. You can't wake up and realize that animals have moral value and it's wrong to use them as a resource and then go, oh, never mind. It's like waking up, you were racist and now you're no longer racist, and then going back to being a racist again. No, if you awaken and you awaken and you realize that it's wrong to treat different people differently just because of where their ancestors came from, and you wake up and you go, how could I have done this? You don't go back to it. You go, never mind, I'm racist again. No, there's no such thing. I'm ashamed of myself because it took me so long to go vegan. It took me over 40 years to go vegan, and I'm ashamed of myself for that. I'm ashamed of myself. And if you ask any other vegan, for the most part, they'll tell you the same thing. They are so ashamed of themselves that it took them so long. What took me so long? Do you love animals? Then using them as a resource to wear or to entertainment is incompatible with that, or to eat. It's incompatible with them having moral value. They either have moral value or they're a thing to be used as a resource. It's one or the other. It's like saying I'm a humanitarian cannibal. You can't love people and eat them. You can't be against spousal abuse and go home and smack your wife around or husband around. You can't be against slavery and own slaves, and you can't love animals and eat them. It's one or the other. Sure, you can say that. You can feel it in your heart. That's what I did. I said I loved animals. I said in my heart, I love animals. But I didn't, did I? I didn't, because I paid somebody to have babies' throats slashed for me. It's horrific. You can say, oh, Mike, you're exaggerating. That's what goes on. It's reality. It's reality. That's what goes on. This is what's going on right now as I make the video. Like thousands, if not millions thousands of animals have died while I made this video in a few minutes. And billions a year, actually, if you count sea life, trillions of animals a year are slaughtered simply because we like the way their flesh tastes, and no other reason. Well, we cause world hunger, horrific climate change, horrific climate effects that'll leave the earth uninhabitable. You can say I'm exaggerating, but I'm actually not. It's just I'm telling you what's going on, unfortunately. So I'm ashamed of myself because it took me so long to go vegan. So at least, face reality and then ask yourself, are you ashamed of yourself? Like, are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with causing such horrors in the world? You comfortable with being directly responsible? Because I was responsible when I lived non-vegan, because I paid somebody else to do what I wouldn't do myself. And even hunters who do it themselves. What gives us the right to take from them their lives like that? What gives us the right? Just because we like the way their flesh tastes, what gives us the right? What right do we have to take from them their lives and enslave them and breed them to be used as a resource? Like, what right do we have? Going vegan is giving them, just simply not taking from them what we never had a right to take in the first place. I'm ashamed of myself because it took me so long. But at least now, I'm finally standing up and saying, I'm vegan. I'm vegan. Go vegan. Thanks for watching.